gummy bear.
It's the internet. You're busy. Let's do this for June 21st, 2023 for the next hour or so. Let me help you sort through the world of gaming on Game S Mornings Live with me, Jeff Grubb. Today, the Nintendo Direct of Dreams is a reality. But first, please join me in welcoming today's co-host, the Game S Mornings. It's Mike Minotti. Mike, how are you doing?
Jeff, I am feeling fresh as a daisy.
Oh, look at that. He's got his
go.
daisy wrist, his power band from Super Nintendo World.
Let's go. Daisy finally playable in a platformer. Yes.
Perverts of the world, unite. Your time is now.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
just have like a sporty mushroom collectible you can get. It just lets you see her thighs.
Yeah, right. They should give her soccer outfit as a power-up for sure. And the power just knocks out all the Goombas because they're too horny to survive. They can't take it.
Incredible.
Yes, very incredible stuff. Hey, we just got done watching the Nintendo Direct. Of course, we're going to go over all of that real soon. But we just hopped right in because I forgot to call you and say, hey, we're getting started. So, Mike, just how are you doing? What's been going on?
Well, after I got over the indignity of having to get into the chat and talk it there to get your attention, to be like, hey, did you still want me to do this? It looks like you got started without me. But once I got in, I'm doing great. I'm very excited. There's a lot of cool stuff just announced coming to Switch that I am very excited about. So I'm a buzzing. It worked out because I just beat Tears of the Kingdom the other day. And it's like, no, there's still plenty. There's at least gas left in that Switch tank for the rest of this year. And a couple things coming next year, even though some of those do have very end of life cycle energy to them.
Sure, let's just shoot them out and forget about them.
Now let's remake Luigi's Mansion 2.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? Let's get into all of that. So let's get the intro out of the way and explain what we do here. Most weekdays, I, Jeff Grubb, will help piece your gaming life back together. That includes breaking news and maybe even some of our own original reporting. For all these topics, I'll get the input of a bona fide expert who will make me look smart. If you are watching live on Twitch, welcome. You can always listen to the show later on podcast feeds by searching for Game S Mornings or find the RSS on giantbomb.com. You can also catch the show later with chapters and timestamps on YouTube. Hello, YouTube. Okay, we have a lot to get into, so let's start the morning mess with the big story. The Nintendo Direct just happened. I've got a list of games that I thought were at least worth mentioning, and it's a pretty lengthy list. There's a lot to go over here. This Direct started, and I think we were all kind of like, uh-oh, at the first couple of games, because it definitely had a do not seem like they're really trying here at all. Thankfully, that changed up pretty quickly. But they did start with the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet DLC. Mike, how much of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet did you actually end up playing?
Maybe 5 hours worth.
Okay.
I think I fought a couple gym leaders and did one of the other quest line thing, and was just it's like there's something fun there, but the game mostly just bummed me out.
So there's no chance that you were ever going to check out this DLC. Now,
no, even Sword and Shield, which I did beat that one, and people liked the DLC. I didn't bother. I'm not much of a DLC guy, anyways, for these kind of things, let alone these Pokemon ones.
Jan did play a lot of Scarlet and Violet, excuse me, and then he beat it, I think, and hated it, and has no plans to get this DLC. So
I respect the hate play.
Yes, just hate playing through that. He's not like so many others that were won over by the gameplay being pretty solid. A lot of the technical shortcomings really bothered him. But hey, these DLCs, they're always huge. This used to be the third game. This is what they would do. Now they do DLC. And I tried to understand what was happening. Mostly it just looked like over and over again. They're like, and now there's a new Pokemon. And now this Pokemon looks different. Ooh.
The music would stop. And then you would see a shot of the Pokemon's feet, then a shot of its butt, and then the face reveal. It's okay.
And then the bat nipples. Yeah, exactly.
I get it. Yeah. Pokemon, okay.
That's coming out later this year. I didn't write down a date for it, so if they set a date, I didn't write it down. The next game that I thought looked pretty cool was Myth Force, which is that Saturday morning cartoon-looking action battler game that we couldn't really tell what was happening. But
everybody looked like whenever they add an anime character in Fortnite. That's what these people looked like.
Right, they had the cartoon cell shading really turned up a lot in there. and it looks cool. I really like that the trailer feels very shoddily made. Like it's something that's charming about that. Where like they just got in there with the controller. They had a Logitech $30 controller that you usually use with
I knew you were
submarines.
gonna go there.
Yeah. And instead, they're just controlling the camera in the game to show it off. But whatever. I thought it looked really cute and cool. I'm into it. Then Detective Pikachu 2. It has reemerged. They've announced this game a long time ago, right? Was this originally
Yes.
announced for like during like the 3DS period still?
No,
Like,
it was just announced during one of those Nintendo or one of those Pokemon directs, I
Right.
believe. And it was going to be a Switch game, but hey, the Switch is so old now. If you announced the game like in the middle of the Switch life cycle, that was years ago.
Yep. And it's, yes, a long time ago. We haven't heard about it in a very long time. It's back. It looks like more Detective Pikachu. It looks good. I'm glad that they're still doing this. I never played Detective Pikachu 1, and now I'm like, I bet that would be a fun thing to do with my kids. Jan mentioned that would be
Yeah.
a good idea. I think I might be into that idea.
I mean, it's definitely mostly like visual novel kind of a thing. I like there's
Right.
some of light like Phoenix Wright elements to that, but it's not gonna like really rack your brain to solve the mystery.
Yes. So that's coming October 6th, and yeah, like I said, looked pretty good. And then the big boy for me, the big boy Squat Man Super Mario RPG remake, November 17th. It's coming this year. It looked fantastic, Mike.
Can't believe this was real. There's a lot of rumors that are out there, so you never really try to believe any of them. But like the second I saw Peach like sitting on top of that toadstool, that classic shot from the opening, I was like, this is it. It's actually real. And like it's exactly what I want from a remake of this. I don't want them to mess around with it too much. They just kind of put new graphics on top of it that still look like that original though. Like you look at that original, right? There's a lot of like jagged edges to things because they are just like taking screenshots of silicon graphics computer
Yeah,
images.
basically, yeah.
It just like even just the little things like, oh, it's not Legend of the Seven Stars now, it's just Super Mario RPG. Interesting. But just seeing new renders
Yes.
of Gino and Mallow in the year of our Lord 2023. Like I think about those characters still constantly.
Yep. I think about him probably every day. Like one of
And
those
then,
characters
like,
pops into my head like once a day.
yeah, like I've wanted Gino and Smash since Brawl. I remember like the GameFAQs message board. We all had that as our like tag or whatever in
Uh-huh.
our profiles. We're trying to get a movement going. Look at him; he's such a good boy. Oh God, these characters are just so cool. And I wonder how much Square Enix is involved. I wonder if it is literally just like, yeah, okay, we own some of the rights. You can do this. I almost hope it's like Nintendo just got those rights back, and
Right.
maybe they could
Like
see
just like
Gino and
Nintendo have.
Mallow
So let's
more.
take a look here. Here is the tag. Nintendo slash Square Enix is the copyright. The characters are copyright Nintendo, copyright Square Enix.
See, that's always been a bit of the hang up is Square Enix still does own the character rights to Gino and Mallow, which is why they aren't as likely to show up in other things as much because you do have to get Square Enix's okay on that.
Yeah.
But still, whatever. I'm so excited for this. It looks fantastic. I mean, there you go, Jeff. That's why you weren't getting it on NSO for forever, huh?
Yep. Super Mario RPG. I had a story on VentureBeat, GamesBeat that would like for years now where it's just Super Mario RPG does not come to Nintendo Switch Online. And I would just refresh that every time they would announce more games for Nintendo Switch Online, being very frustrated. I'm okay with it now because this looks great.
Yeah.
I'm like looking at these screenshots, Mike. I think for the environments, it really does look like they are probably just using the original sources and just upgrading them. Like the original Silicon Graphics up like sources and taking them and giving them a coat of paint. And I think that's really cool. I hope that's what they're doing. Of
Maybe
course,
that would require surprisingly good documentation from Nintendo to still
Exactly.
have those. I'm
Right.
expecting they did just remake those and they look a lot like the original.
Right. That's probably, you're right. That's the simplest answer, but it looks like that's what they're doing, and that's good enough for me. Some of these
Oh, you
things
think
look
they're still
good.
going to have like the Samus and Link cameos?
Yeah, I bet they have it. But they're gonna have it all. Yes, man.
I remember this part.
Yeah, I think about this part a lot.
Just love everybody like making Mario jump to prove that he's Mario.
Yeah.
I mean,
And then
this was such a cool game because this was the first time we did kind of get a little bit of character thrown into the Mario universe, and this kind of actually established that Mario can be funny in the Mario games. It's sort of expected that there's that big humor element, especially in the RPGs.
And he doesn't
That really
talk
started
really,
here.
so like a lot of Mario's jokes for like body language, which was really
Yeah.
weird on the Super Nintendo, but it always worked. And whenever he would like whenever he tells like another character like what's going on in the world, because they're like, I'll catch you up. He just pantomimes everything, and he like does he falls from the sky to pretend to be the sword that's falling from the sky. It's really good stuff. It's always been very charming. And this just looks, it looks like a dream come true, really. And yeah, this musical bit with the tadpoles, I love this. I like just kind of brute forced my way through that when I played as a kid. And it was fun.
I wonder, like, I just wonder, like, what is going to be changed? Are they going to mess with the script at all? Or is there going to be, like, new little things here and there, little adjustments? Was there something problematic about Mario RPG I don't remember now?
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, clearly just Boshi always talking about his huge hog. You know, Boshi.
Boshi, come
Come
on,
on,
my
come on,
man.
Boshi. It's 2023. Boshi is definitely Nintendo's Andrew Dice Clay. Like that's who he reminds
What
me
I'm
of.
always saying.
Yes, he does
They
the hot
must-
stand up about like his ex-wives, and it's very offensive.
I think this was the last game where she was called Toadstool in the U.S. instead of Peach. Mario 64 was also 1996, and then she was just finally Peach in
Right.
that. But in this game, she was Toadstool, and I assume she'll just be Peach now.
He is Bowser, not King Koopa by this point already. So
He was already Bowser, yeah, so that's
Yeah,
already,
that already
taken care
happened.
of.
name
Yeah.
changes. Yeah,
Happens.
I'm so excited about this. This is definitely one
Yep.
of the things where it's like when those rumors were popping off, I wanted to believe, I was ready to believe. This surpasses kind of even what I was expecting from this game. So that's November 17th. Pre-orders begin today on the Nintendo eShop, so I'll be making that happen. Right after that, they were like, hey, we got some other stuff happening. There's a new Princess Peach game. This is kind of limited in terms of what we know about it, other than it's coming next year. And you play as Peach. She can kind of put on what looks like to be like a wedding gown or something, or just all white.
Like straight out of that movie, yeah.
Yeah. It looks cool. I think Super Princess Peach is a game that like really could have worked if they would have kept refining it. It's like an okay game. This doesn't look necessarily like a more Super Princess Peach. This is something else, but I don't know. I'm glad they're doing this.
And it's not like strict. It doesn't look like it's strictly a 2D affair. You
No.
can kind of go. There's a, I want to call it. I don't know if I'd call it a 3D platformer, but you move up and down. There's a Z-axis, right? But yeah, it has like that style, like we've seen in other Mario games, like Thousand Year Door, where in even Mario 3, where it looks like it might be like, oh, it's like a play that she's in or
Yeah.
something like that, right?
Yeah, it looks like a set behind her for sure.
Yeah. So interesting.
I like that. In Super Princess Peach, she did have her emotion powers, which is like if there's like fire and you need to put that out or whatever, you can cool things off by crying so much that the entire world gets covered in tears because you're a woman.
Yeah.
And it was
maybe
they
less of
probably
that.
won't do that this time.
But like I do like want there to be more personality to like Peach, but yeah,
Sure.
fuck wood from the most sexist places possible, I guess.
Yes, probably.
It's weird it
probably
doesn't
not
even
good.
have a name. Like they say it's coming next year. They're gonna talk about it more soon, but it's
Yeah. Why did they do this? Is kind of my big question. Does this feel like this is a Switch game for sure? And the
Oh.
next time we start talking about this, we might have some confusing messaging around hardware. Does it feel like that's what's happening?
maybe. I mean, they were very intent. Like, hey, we're focusing on games coming out this year, and this one and the Luigi's Mansion 2 remake aren't. So I don't know. It's like we don't want to talk about this that much because it's not coming out this year. But like, you could give me a name,
Yeah. And, or
a logo.
or if it's like, if they don't have a name, like that's the kind of thing I think Nintendo would often hold back. So I don't know. It's strange, but listen, I'm not complaining. This looks cool. Next year's not that far away already. Jesus Christ. And then, as Mike mentioned, there was a Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon remake, sort of remaster, and that's happening as well. That's also coming out in 2024. The original Luigi's Mansion is not on Switch, right?
No, that got remade for 3DS.
Yes, totally.
It's there, but this is the game that originally came out for 3DS. It's good. I would not really go back to this. I just played Luigi's Mansion 3. It was a lot better.
Yeah, I think it makes sense for them. Luigi's Mansion is obviously a global blockbuster, one of the most important games of all time, clearly.
Yes, of course.
So wanting to go back to that game's legacy and resurface it for an audience that has almost certainly showed up for the first time for Luigi's Mansion 3, that makes a lot of sense. But I think you're right. This is
Hey, you know when the Luigi's Mansion 1 remake happened? Like right at the end of the 3DS's life cycle.
That's right.
Here's Luigi's Mansion 2 for Switch now. Huh?
Yep, in 2024. Yeah. I do think that by the time this game comes out, for sure, we will have heard about and will likely be anticipating the next Switch follow-up. All right, let's see here. After that, Batman Arkham Trilogy finally got announced, baby. Let's go.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? I like these games.
Me too.
I know if you have like a Steam Deck, like, well, this isn't all that exciting. But hey, playing Arkham Asylum again on a Switch. It's been a long time since I played that. They didn't say if it's the Armored Edition of Arkham City, did they?
I don't. You know what? I thought for the on the feed before they went in there, they said something. I thought there was a pun about armor. But
was there?
Maybe I could be making that up. Like those things happen so fast. But yeah, I don't think they explicitly said if it's armored or not. But yeah, this is cool. It's coming up this fall as well.
And this is just Asylum and City. Well, it says trilogy. It must be Origins. We're not getting Arkham Knight on Switch, are we? Are we? What's the third game on this?
I don't know.
This is Rocksteady. I guess it's Arkham Knight.
Yeah, there's no. Yeah, I think it's. I bet it's Arkham Knight. Yeah.
Oh.
I think there's no Origins. I think it's the one that's not in there.
Right, because Origins wasn't Rocksteady.
Right, exactly.
That made that. Okay, they did show Knight. Okay, Arkham Knight's on there. I wasn't even
that's pretty wild. Okay, cool.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it probably took some time, but they got it on the Switch. This is one that's been rumored for so long, so if we are like focusing on it, it's like it's finally did happen. That's pretty wild. Let's see here. The next one I wanted to bring up is Pikmin 4. Got a little bit more information about that. Continues to look really cute. I'm really excited about it. They showed that there is maybe not a day-night cycle in terms of like you got to return to your ship. It's like, no, now you have a different set of like Pikmin that perform really well at night, and you'll go out with them instead. So maybe like the day-by-day progression model isn't going to be in this game. And I think they really perfected that with Pikmin 3 Deluxe, so I don't blame them for wanting to move on. But I'm also concerned because that loop was so good in Pikmin 3 that I'm like, oh man, I hope they don't spoil things. But the stuff they did show that was happening tonight with the glowing Pikmin looked pretty good to me. I know you're not a Pikmin guy, but I don't know, did any of that look enticing?
Want to be, Jeff.
Right, exactly. You want to be
a Pikmin guy. I'm like, I think that this looks interesting. I'm a little worried about that night cycle stuff, like you said, because like you, I think it's important for games to kind of push against you a bit, and that's what that resented. And, it's like with Tears of the Kingdom, I was like, get rid of weapon degradation. Well, no, we're not going to do that, but is that we're going to play with it. I'm hoping this is more of that than just, well, we made the game easier because this is the one thing some people complain about.
Yep, exactly. Then on top of Pikmin 4, they announced that Pikmin 1 and 2 are coming to the Nintendo Switch later today. You can get the digital versions today on the eShop. That's pretty cool. I bet they are those Wii remakes, and that would make sense. I wonder if you could play. Well, they
based
don't
off those at least.
Yeah, based off those. They don't say like, oh, with the Motion Control Plus or whatever, which is like the subtitle for the Wii versions, something along those lines. So I don't know. We'll see. But I bet this has motion controls.
Was there noticeable improvements to how it controlled just for the controller in Pikmin 3 compared to Pikmin 1?
Yes. Pikmin 3 Deluxe specifically really nailed the controller performance. No controller.
Hopefully they do some of that here then.
That's that's a really good point. I didn't consider that. If they are putting Pikmin 3 Deluxe style controls into Pikmin 1 and 2, I'll be very excited. That would be a great way to go back and play those games. All right, and then up next there is the Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 1, also coming this year, October 24th.
Yes, I am super excited for this. I love just the original Metal Gear Solid still so much.
Me too.
I love that is such a good looking PlayStation 1 game. It's the game that I think of when I think about that style of graphics. I prefer this version so much more to Twin Snakes even.
Oh yes, without a doubt.
It's like I played this through a few times. Now it's just on my Switch. It's gonna be so easy to play it a bunch. Maybe I'll try to beat it on the hardest mode, get really good rankings. There's also just something funny about the idea of playing Metal Gear Solid 2 specifically on a Nintendo platform. I don't know why I think that's so funny, but it is, and I'm excited for it.
Yeah, it's the first time it's coming to a Nintendo platform.
Yeah.
Of course, you could also get the Metal Gear Solid digital graphic novel from the PSP.
Finally
Getting the HD treatment it deserves. Actually, who knows?
Snake's Revenge. It's
Yeah.
gonna be on there.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's cool that we get, so you get Metal Gear Solid or Metal Gear 1, Metal Gear 2, like the MSX games, but you also get the NES Metal Gear and Snake's Revenge.
Yep, there it is.
Too bad there's no Ghost Babel, but that's okay. You can just buy an overly expensive Game Boy Color cart like I did if you want that.
Mine's got to be in that back room somewhere. Now I'm like,
You gotta find it.
now I gotta find it. I didn't know it was that.
This was one of my golden gooses for a while. So
really?
tracking this one down yesterday, and I don't like to buy these games online. That's like cheating to me. So I always just check my stores to see if it shows up, and this one finally showed up.
Well, there you go.
Now it's mine.
Well, congratulations. That is a pretty good game, Ghost Babel. Ghost Babel not on the Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 1.
No, because even though Kojima's not there anymore, like he talked crap about it not being canon to the point where it's like it still feels like it's just part of Konami's like culture to forget it exists.
Yep. So yeah, that's October 24th. Then Vampire Survivors is August 17th, finally coming to the Nintendo Switch. It is that game that's been updated a million times and has a ton of stuff in it. But now they also have 4-player local co-op. Additional accessories may be required for multiplayer modes, sold separately. That's pretty cool. I would play a 4-player version of Vampire Survivors, even on the Switch.
Yeah, I wonder, like, is there a reason why 4-player co-op isn't just going to come to the other platforms?
It is going to come to the other platforms.
Online.
Hooray!
Oh, okay.
Is,
hey,
yes.
hey, nice.
So I think they just announced it here. Maybe they announced it previously. This is the first time I'm hearing about it. But either way, that's a cool thing. And Steam has its remote play stuff. So if they don't have built-in online play on the other platforms, which I haven't heard one way or the other, then we could do Parsec or something along those lines and play it online. Or it could be the kind of thing where it's like, we do get together for like a bomb-a-thon. We can play that way. That would be fun.
This game's going to do very well on Switch.
I think so too, because it's that price is right. It's got the name recognition in terms of being buzzworthy. I think it's going to be kind of a not as popular as Hades, but it's going to have that similar thing where it's on the Switch. It's having a huge amount of success on the Switch. All right, Penny's Big Breakaway coming early 2024. This is a 3D platformer from the Sonic Mania team. That's what I heard. I haven't confirmed any of that myself, really. Someone said that's what it said. I didn't see it.
Yeah, I didn't see it either. I guess I was taking their word for it.
I'll take their word for it. But either way, it looked very good, Mike. I'm very into what they showed.
I love 3D platformers, and we don't necessarily always get a lot of those, let alone new ones. And some like indies are getting to a point where they're making more of those, and they can kind of do okay with this. But that Sonic Mania team, that's like a bit more than an indie. I have like some faith in them to be able to really just make a full-on awesome 3D platform. What they're showing here looks really cool.
Really good.
I love the idea of like using this yo-go as like
this screenshot here.
A lot of this.
Looks like it's from the Sega Genesis.
In terms
of the colors.
The colors. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Oh, I am very much into this. I have very high hopes going into this one. I hope it delivers, but that trailer looked very promising. Very excited.
I'm trying to like place like what they're going for, because as Dan City points out, and we should say for audio listeners, it is not looking like a Sonic game necessarily. And Sean says can confirm it is the Sonic Mania team. Thank you, Sean.
Yeah, I mean, you use that your yo-yo as like a wheel sometimes. That almost has a spin dash-esque quality to it. But it looks, but no, for sure, it almost looks a bit more. Like what? Chameleon Twist came.
Yeah,
to my
Chameleon
mind,
Twist is not a bad one. Talking about an old man game. Yeah.
Yeah, it just looks like a really fun 3D platformer. Like a little bit of maybe that Sackboy Adventure thing in terms of like the camera's a little like high and looking down a bit. Maybe Super Mario 3D World, somewhere kind of a thing.
Anyway, this game is coming early 2024. Private Division is publishing it, so they usually give games like this enough love. I am excited. The developer's Evening Star Incorporated, so I'm going to try to remember that name going forward. Up next, Mario Kart 8 DLC. You are going to be in a bathroom, and you can play as Kamek, and it looks very good.
Is it Kamek or Kamek?
It's probably Kamek. I'm not going to claim that I know how to say it.
They didn't say the name in the movie, huh? But maybe they did. I don't remember now. But Kamek. Kamek always? Kamek. Oh, man. Jeff's right. Now I'm going to be messed up rather. But hey, I like that character a lot. So I'm actually really excited that they're going to be playable.
Yep.
That's gonna be my go-to.
Yeah, check this out. That's pretty good. It's Mario Kart 8 continues to be a very fun game. I usually check in on these DLC drops for like a day or two. I don't spend extended time with them, but hey, I'm not complaining. This is fun stuff. And this bathroom level does look very, very fun. This is a new level, right? This is not one that's like from an older game. Oh, he's got to sneeze, everybody. All right, he's back. He's back.
I did not hit my mute button. It didn't work.
All right.
Sorry.
People wanted to hear
I think
it.
this is a
People
brand new
demanded.
level, unless it's something weird that's in Tor, but I don't think so because it's not based off of a boring city. I think this is a brand new level.
Okay, very cool. All
How
right.
close is the shower to the? How close is that shower to the toilet, Jeff?
I think it's right there. Look, I think this is the. Oh, is that the toilet or is that just like a ring? So that like an inner tube over there. Because if this is the toilet and this is the shower, you can easily do a Poop City slam
that's
jam.
That's just a pipe. That's part of the wallpaper, I think.
Okay. Yeah. So it's,
I mean, you could use that if you want.
Yeah, you could still throw poop in there. Yeah, absolutely. And I will. All right. Up next is Star Ocean: The Second Story R. Play as Claude. Play as Rena, but either way, you're going to be playing a very beautiful game. Look at this. This looks phenomenal.
Fantastic. This is definitely one of the best PlayStation 1 era JRPGs. It's a bit more of an action game. So the lineage here was actually the first Tales game was made for Super Nintendo, Tales of Fantasia. And a lot of those people left and made Tri-Ace, I believe, and then they made Star Ocean 1 and then 2. Star Ocean 1 was an SNES game. Star Ocean 2, PlayStation 1 game. Star Ocean 2 is the one most people agree is the best in the series. And it was the pixel game on PlayStation 1. And now we have HD 2D version of that. And it is looking good. I am very excited for this.
Yeah, the for audio listeners, again, it is very similar to HD 2D, if not exactly HD 2D. It's definitely in that style. The characters are, they're sprites, they're pixelated, they are definitely improved slightly, but they are still like, hey, we can exist on a Super Nintendo. And then the backgrounds are full 3D backgrounds. Like there's like rendered grass and there's rendered mountains and trees, and it just looks like a GameCube or later game, sort of, and in terms of the backgrounds. And it just looks, it's a style that meshes really well. And then, of course, there's a lot of visual filters on top of it to make it really work. But this game's also coming this year, November 2nd. And yes, Star Ocean was Enix, right? Before Enix. I can't ever say that right, but...
I think that's right. I can't remember if it was actually, it might have been Square proper.
Might have been Squaresoft.
I think it might have just been Squaresoft, to be honest. I'm not sure. Yeah, very excited for that. Now I'm like, okay, I got to play through this in like the 2 weeks before the Mario RPG remake comes out, but I'll do it.
You actually have to play through it in one day, because what's up next is the new WarioWare game, WarioWare Move It, which is a successor. What is the Smooth Moves? Was the
Smooth
Wii one?
Moves was the Wii one, early Wii game.
And that's a very fun game. I really enjoy, especially that party mode game that we played at the Bombathon was fantastic. This is a successor to that. You're going to be playing with the Joy-Con. But it is otherwise a new WarioWare game where you're going to be doing a lot of motion control stuff. And they show like a person standing up actually in most of these things. Like, the WarioWare always has the classic, hey, old Nintendo games, play those for 5 seconds. They have a Super Mario 64 slide one where you use two Joy-Con to slide down. And yeah, that's just very, very cool. I'm very into this.
This is pretty surprising that we're getting 2 WarioWare games on the Switch now. And also, like, not too often these days, like, here's a Switch game that's all about motion controls. Remember that the system can do that?
Yes.
Here you go.
It's strange. It's because I think beforehand I was guessing, oh, well, maybe we'll get a Rhythm Heaven, because we haven't had a Rhythm Heaven for Switch this generation. I don't think they did Rhythm Heaven Gold at the end of the 3DS, and that was or maybe I'm mixing that with WarioWare. But either way, they had a big collection a while ago, not for the Switch. And I'm like, well, that team does WarioWare, and they did a WarioWare, so we'll probably get a Rhythm Heaven. It's like, oh no, we're just getting another WarioWare. And I'm okay, I'm fine with that. Listen, I love Rhythm Heaven, but I also really, really love WarioWare, and a motion control one could be pretty fun. So Move It is out November 3rd, and yeah, I'm excited about it.
You see the box art for Mario RPG?
No, I haven't.
I just put it in the chat here in our Discord call. I love it because it's just so stupid. I mean, it's a throwback to the Famicom, Super Famicom.
Let me just ask, is there anything sensitive in our chat? So if I were to open it and it like appeared on chat for a second, or on screen for a second, will we be okay?
No, the last thing above that is a picture of a bunch of tickets that we each collected I mean, they're not in our chat together, like the room chat, this GB crew talk chat.
Okay. Can you check and see if there's anything sensitive in there for me?
No, it's just a picture of all the tickets I got in that coin game.
All right, fantastic. Oh boy, that looks good. Okay. Oh god, it looks good. People, it's cut off a little bit for everybody. Let me bring it up. Let me actually just do this. There you go. You guys can kind of see it. Boy, that looks good. Okay.
Look at the dream team there.
All right, let me get back to our boy Mikey. Okay, yes. So Move It's out November 3rd. Super Mario RPG continues to occupy my entire brain, though.
Yep, I can't think of anything else.
And then there is a Zelda and Ganondorf amiibo. New Zelda and Ganondorf amiibos coming based on their Tears of the Kingdom models, and they look very good. I'll see if I can get those for everybody.
It's sexy Ganondorf.
It's sexy Ganondorf and short-haired sexy Zelda. So I mean, just lots of sex appeal all around. Yeah, listen, I got your back here, Mike. Don't worry. Available holiday 2023. They're still making amiibo. This is the way they're going to keep doing it, right? They're not going to suddenly stop making amiibo. Probably they'll just release a couple here and there because there's probably an audience out there that always will buy these no matter what, and it's probably pretty predictable for them. So they could just print so many and know what to do. I guess I just thought maybe by now they would have given up on amiibo. I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, it is weird because we are past the point of them being like a huge deal. They were very popular, especially like kind of when they were newer, even during the Wii U era where not much else was popular. I'm glad. I do like amiibo. I wish they would make more, to be honest. Who do we have to bug about the Gino and Mallow amiibo?
I think if we get really aggressive on social media, we can make it happen. Like, let's get like borderline toxic is what I think we need to do for our boy Gino.
Not toxic. Come on, but borderline. Let's
borderline toxic. Let's step up to the line and probably get banned, but do what we got to do. So I'll tell you what, chat. A lot of people chat, so just saying a lot of stuff like, "Hey, I buy every amiibo. I'm the audience for this stuff." And someone's like, "Oh, they're like they are good cheap figures." And it's like, yeah. If you like want to have statues or like replacing Funko Pops for me, it's like, yeah, if you want collectibles, these are well made and they're affordable. And it's like, okay, that's a compelling argument. Yeah, just keep doing that.
That's why I like them, and like unlike Funkos, it's not like some weird kind of like style. It's just these are the characters. They look really nice. They're in a cool pose. I like it.
They look sexy.
Me too.
All right, and then finally, on October 20th of this year, there will be a new Mario game called Super Mario Brothers Wonder, and
Super Mario Wonder, right?
Super Mario Brothers Wonder. And yes, it is brothers.
My bad.
Yeah, the 2D games are going to keep brothers. I think that's going to be the distinction.
That makes sense.
Instead of new, which I'm like,
you're right.
That's good. That's good thinking. This game looks phenomenal as well. It looks so good. Mario's character model looks like it's obviously everything's still 3D. It's a 2D game, a 2D playing game. Everything's 3D, but there is this style applied to Mario and everyone else that looks kind of like super. Like honestly, the thing it reminds me the most of is Mario and Luigi. Like the over animated sprites from Mario and Luigi, like Superstar Saga and Beyond. It looks like it's pulling from that, but like applying to a 3D character model, and it just looks fantastic. There is so much good stuff in this trailer.
Right. And it almost looks like some people are like, oh, remember that one like Van Gogh level in New Super Mario Brothers U? Like I'm not saying it looks like that, but there is a painterly quality to this, right? I'm into it. I'm so happy. And I love just the way too, like when Mario's running, it's not like that pure side view of him. He's almost kind of tilted towards the camera. So right. That makes it look again a bit more like those 2D sprites from the day. This looks fantastic. This is exactly what we said we wanted from a new 2D Mario game. There just seems clearly to be a bit more artistic effort going on here, but also just looks super fun. And we still have like the co-op and stuff, and most importantly, for the first time, Daisy as a playable character. I'm so excited about that.
Yeah, there is a lot of stuff going on in this trailer. In terms of like the looks, obviously looks great. There's some interesting new power-ups. One that just seems to like cause the world to turn weird, I guess. And then like things start moving, the pipes start crawling around. I don't know. It was hard to tell exactly what was going on. But the wonder seems to be like, oh, this is like anything can happen. Anything's possible. There's also the silhouette stages where Mario can get very long, and so can the Goombas. And I love this. This looks so messed up. I just kind of hope it is like kind of a little bit of an acid trip of a game.
I wonder if it's called Wonder. I mean, like some of this stuff. I wonder they're literally like doing some Wonderland style stuff here, like Alice.
Right, and and that's not like, I don't think that's too presumptive of you, because Odyssey is definitely like, hey, we are going on an Odyssey, like Odysseus. Like, he's going to go to all these different lands, and they're all going to be so different. And it's like, yeah, I mean, obviously for a Mario game, they're not going to harp on that in the story, but it was like the impetus behind the creative elements in that game. I could see them doing that here, and there's definitely it feels kind of Wonderland a lot of times. So yeah, that's very cool. Do you think that there's enough sort of gimmicks here in the trailer to win you over? Because I know we were saying, like, we like the 3D games because they always seem to focus on something, or there's so many ideas in there, and the 2D games can often be like, here's a new power up. How do you feel about that?
So, like, well, for one thing, when the new power up is something really silly like Elephant Mario, that's cool. And I am curious what Elephant Mario actually does. We don't know that. But, there is like this trippy element, like you talked about. He picked up a weird mushroom and he started tripping. And it was kind of a little hard to tell how exactly that impacted like the world, what the gameplay hook was there. Like, things were wobbling a bit, and some parts of the world were kind of acting differently. So that part is still a little bit unclear, but it seems like there is going to be stuff going on. I forgot Yoshi's also just here too. You still get Yoshi,
and you see this.
And it looks like Yoshi is like, you can run on Yoshi, but I think he's just also a character you can.
He did look like he was a character just running around as well. Yeah,
right. Because like, look at that UI element.
Yeah, you're
like
right.
On the left there, Mario and Yoshi, and then when it's Mario and Peach, it's just Mario
you're right.
and
Look at
Peach.
that. Interesting.
Incredible.
Okay, and it's like, but Yoshi's still Yoshi, so you could still ride on his back. I wonder if like everyone can ride on each other's backs, or that's just Yoshi.
So I can ride on Daisy's back.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping for you, Mike. I was really hoping you can give Daisy that ride.
Daisy can ride on my
back. And then Mario and Peach here are using their hats as parachutes. Like, sure, why not?
Right. Oh, I like how Peach just manifests a Mario style hat for that.
Yeah.
I mean, look how expressive Mario is. That I noticed that in a lot of these screenshots. That's
Right.
really cool.
Exactly. And like, that's what I think what we were kind of asking for with this art, where it's I don't want it to just look like these 3D toys that they kind of went with new Super Mario Brothers for so long, where it's just like, these are the models that we have, and they just are going to kind of be static and do their thing, and the most expression is going to be when the womp womp happens and the Koopas stop and do a little dance. This feels so much more alive and cool, and and it's a lot of that comes down to these character models being able to have these expressions. And then here's the co-op you're talking about. There's Mario, there's Princess Peach, Luigi, and Daisy.
With the crown, of course. Yes,
Of course.
So excited.
Yeah, big torpedoes, bullets.
This makes so much sense. It's like, we kept saying, what's the holiday game going to be, right? What is it going to be? Oh, look at that. It's just straight up 4 Yoshis you're going to play as. Oh, incredible.
Yep.
And here it is. Here's your... Go ahead, sorry.
There it is. Yes, there is Mario as an elephant. There you go.
Fantastic.
Yep. Is that what you were referring to? Here it is. Is that what you're trying to say?
No, I'm seeing, when you do these things, I'm watching the feed. It's
you're a little you're a little bit behind. Okay, so what were you like? Which thing was it? Was it
I forget now. I think it was seeing the 4 Yoshis together.
Okay, let me see if I can.
That's what it was. Yeah, I saw 4 Yoshis, so like, okay, they're definitely playable. You can actually just play as 4 Yoshis.
There it is. Yeah, look at that.
There it is. October 20th. Yeah, look at that. See?
Okay, so October 20th. That's, I mean, even if I thought it would be like maybe November.
Is that the same day as Spider-Man 2?
I don't know, but I mean, I could check the gamer browser. It's actually a gamer browser struggling to go to October right now.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. Wow.
Chat's
okay.
more helpful than that. So there you go.
Yes, thank you so much, chat. You're my gamer browser. That's what you really are.
You think Yoshi's gonna have like Yoshi's Island, like, because like at least the flutter?
I think
right?
I do.
That's really exciting.
Yes, and I think Princess Peach will have the float, and I think Daisy will as well, but maybe it'll look a little bit different. Maybe she'll do like a leg kick, like Luigi, but then also float or something like that. But not float as much.
We're gonna finally learn what Daisy's physics are.
It is a little bit messed up that like Wario and Waluigi still aren't on this. Like, Daisy gets to be in here, but Waluigi. Listen, I know that you're fine. Like, you'll sacrifice Waluigi for Daisy. I know, but come on.
Daisy's always a friend. Wario and Waluigi sometimes maybe not. Look, just someday those two goobers will get their own game.
That's what I'm getting at. I think that there's a chance that they are in this game as an update. I don't want to get my hopes up because that's probably not true. Actually, probably there's no way that's going to happen, but I want to believe that could happen. That's where I'm at, but we'll see. Look, cool. Waluigi's busy. He's busy that day. He can't come and hang out.
He's very busy. He's washing his hair.
All right. That does it for the roundup of the Nintendo Direct. But I kind of want to get like your overall to take one more time, Mike. I like going over it again. That is a very good Direct. I am very happy with that.
Oh yeah, I mean, in a year where we already have Tears of the Kingdom from Nintendo, it's almost like whatever else is gravy. But I did want a big holiday game. Hey, look, Mario RPG for me is huge, but maybe that's a bit me being a boomer. But the new 2D Mario game, Wonder looks fantastic. That is
It's going to
super
be
exciting.
massive.
That's a lot of fun.
It's going to be a
Right.
huge success. The Mario movie came out, and the Nintendo Switches started really selling again. A lot of the Mario games saw a huge bump in sales. The audience is ready to go for this, and it's going to be massive. Real quick, boy, this just gets me fucking hyped. Yoko Shimomura confirmed that she is doing the music for Super Mario RPG. She is
The
one
original.
of the greatest composers of all time. The Street Fighter 2, right? She worked on
Street
that.
Fighter 2, Kingdom Hearts.
Yes,
Hearts,
Kingdom Hearts,
yeah.
which does have good music. Yes,
Yeah.
and Super Mario RPG's music is fantastic, so good. And she is involved. Let's fucking go! Hell yes! Super Mario RPG is one of those games where it's a defining game for me. So anytime I think about it, I get happy. The idea that Nintendo and Square Enix were able to make it happen is so encouraging to me. So very happy.
Yeah,
All right, couple other stories
excited.
here. Oh yeah, what was that, Mike? One more thing.
Just excited. I'm
Yep.
excited.
Oh,
Can't
yeah.
wait.
Yeah, me too. All right, let's move on here. Everybody 1-2 Switch gets ridiculous first look trailer. So everybody's 1-2 Switch was not in the Direct because it had its own showcase yesterday where and this comes from Eric Hiddleback Furu at Game Reactor, where they showed a bunch of content creators, as they called them, playing it in Japan. They're like, we invited a bunch of content creators.
We make content. Why weren't we there?
Yeah, I didn't recognize a single person. Honestly, it felt like one of those like TikToks where it's like a fake podcast. It's like these are all fake content creators that you could just like get from AI. They go into a ballroom in a hotel in Tokyo, I guess. So it just all has this haunted element to it. And then they play Everybody 1-2 Switch. And I found this video to be actually kind of terrifying. The way that these people,
scary.
yes, they're just like screaming at the camera and moving violently and pretending to run in place like they're like possessed and speaking in tongues. It rules. It's incredible. It's going to be game of the year, Mike. I don't know. What'd you think?
No, I will never play this. You can't pay me to play this.
I don't listen. I think we could probably get you to play it if I really had to, but not like if we all got in person, like everyone's gonna play Everybody 1-2 Switch. But I bet even as a bit that gets really like worn out really fast. I bet it's actually a really boring game.
I just remember you said you're gonna shit yourself if they announced the Mario RPG remake. So
I did.
What's going on down there?
Oh yeah, it's a whole mess. We got a Poop City Slamma Jamma.
It's a gay mess morning.
Yes, exactly. That's the mess. I did tweet that I
fantastic.
shit my pants when Super Mario RPG happened.
I can't believe this game has any marketing budget. I guess they felt obligated to do something.
Well, like they still aren't really showing a ton of the game. Like even this Everybody 1-2 Switch gameplay trailer, it's mostly just a man in a horse mask dancing
really
around.
doubling down on the horse head man, huh?
Yes, exactly. Like do you know what he's a character in the game, like a named character. Do you know what his name is?
No.
Do you want to guess?
Horsey? Mr. Ed?
Listen, those are both very good guesses. It's not too far off. It's MC Horace. Because Horace. So
incredible.
There you go. Yeah, and MC Horace comes out in this video, dances around, and a bunch of children dance and circle around him like fucking Midsummer or whatever. It's bizarre, and I hate it. And yeah, they don't show a ton of the. There's some of the gameplay where it's like, hey, do this, but then it just cuts. Like the whole idea of 1-2 Switch is always like, it's not really what's happening on the screen. It is about people behaving silly. So I get that, and yet I hate it still, and they really forced that upon us.
No, thank you.
Yep. All right. Microsoft is rallying its executives to defend Activision Blizzard acquisition in the U.S. The story feels like it's always coming to a head. Once again, though, it's kind of at that point. This comes from Ben Leon at Game Reactor. We've known for a while that Microsoft would be facing stiff competition when it comes to getting its massive $69 billion acquisition of Activision Blizzard approved by the United States Federal Trade Commission. But now, as The Verge reports, Microsoft and Xbox are preparing their top executives for battle. Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella, Xbox head honcho Phil Spencer, and an array of other leading executives, including Activision CEO Bobby Kotick, are set to appear in court this week to defend the huge merger and to put the brakes on an injunction that the FTC has filed in an attempt to block the deal before its July 18th deadline, before that deadline comes around. The injunction has yet to be granted by the U.S. federal court, but assuming it is, another set of court proceedings will need to take place, with these starting on August 2nd, just after the appeal for the appeal starts in the UK following the Competition and Market Authority's decision to also block the merger. Basically, the FTC injunction that went through when we were at Summer Game Fest, where it's like the FTC is like pulling out their Hail Mary play to stop this. Microsoft is like, we want this because that forces everything to go to court sooner, and we're going to bring everybody in and we're going to argue this. It feels like if this goes Microsoft's way, the deal actually will close. And if there's any more major like roadblocks, things could get shaky again, because they have not renegotiated that July 18th deadline with Activision Blizzard yet, which is when they would have to pay $3 billion if the deal hasn't gone through by then. They probably will renegotiate it if things are still up in the air by then. It seems very likely that it will be. But in the meantime, these executives are going to be in there arguing with the FTC. I don't know. What's your feeling on any of this, Mike?
I want the thing done with.
Yep.
So, there's some of this back and forth, and some of it's like, ooh, this is pretty spicy here, and then it's like, actually, here's why it's not that spicy.
Yes.
Okay. So I just want to see if it's a yes or a no.
Yep. It's like we are. It's very easy to continue to try to analyze how these things would have worked in the past. But all these things are run by people. All these regulatory bodies are run by people, and people can do whatever they want, and they can behave in ways that are completely unexpected. So it's like every day people are like, what's going to happen here? And everyone takes those little tidbits, like you're saying, and like, here's why it's spicy, here's why it's not. And it's like, we don't really know. No one knows really what's going to happen. So yes or no answer, please, very soon. Again, that seems closer than ever, and yet we are probably going to have several more stories on this before we get to that point. All right, Square Enix re-releases game without its controversial microtransactions. This comes from Isaiah Colbert at Kotaku. Square Enix's once abandoned Chocobo racing game, a Final Fantasy spin-off titled Chocobo GP, has received a second chance at life without all the bad microtransactions, which previously ended up nickel and diming players for game features. Chocobo GP's new Nintendo eShop store page shows that Square Enix's Mario Kart-like racing game received a re-release on the Nintendo Switch on June 15th. The cutesy racing game's Phoenix Down-esque revival on the eShop comes as a bit of a surprise, considering Square Enix announced they would no longer be supporting the game a mere 9 months after its launch day on rival platforms such as Android and iOS. Square Enix was reached out for a comment. They didn't provide one. I'm glad that they did this. I'm like almost surprised that they even put in the effort. It makes me wonder if the development team like had a version of this game with like that existed like this ready to go, because they knew the microtransactions were horseshit and that they eventually would have to do this. What do you think?
They were terrible.
Yes.
I mean, this is like a kind of a budget game anyways, with just absurd microtransactions. It wasn't free to play. You did have to buy it. But the game also just has problems beyond that. Like, this was a game I was looking forward to and was really disappointed in. Aside from the microtransactions, it's just not designed well. Like, the tracks are so short, but you still have like a million power-ups.
Right.
So it's one thing in a Mario Kart game when you get hit by a red shell. You have a lot of time to make that up. You get hit by like anything in this Chocobo racing game. It's like, well, the race is over in 30 seconds now. It started 10 seconds ago. I lose. So this isn't going to fix that game. I still wouldn't worry about checking it out, anybody.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's jump here to Immortals of Avium. The Call of Duty with Magic shooter is delayed a month. This comes from Owen Good at Polygon. Immortals of Avium has been delayed. Ascendant Studios' debut game, described as Call of Duty but with Magic, will now launch on August 22nd for PlayStation 5, Windows PC, and Xbox Series X. It's a surprise delay given that Immortals of Avium, published by Electronic Arts, just got a big close-up during Summer Game Fest on June 8th, and before that, a trailer at the PlayStation Showcase on May 24th. The game was originally due for July 20th. In a blog post on Tuesday, Ascendant chief executive and founder Brett Robbins said the extra time will be used to further polish the game, finish optimizing all platforms, and deliver a strong launch. Mike, how broken up are you about Immortals of Avium?
What am I going to do in my life? Yeah, this game always confused me because every time I'm like looking at it, I'm like, yeah, Magic first person shooter could be fun. And looking at it, I think I said this at one point, it has all the stuff you need for a video game there, and yet I just can't find it in myself to care about it.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, got Michael Shannon yelling at me.
So I say, who's saying hi to me?
Yeah, that's just Michael Shannon in the closet at Criterion. I was just watching that video like
Incredible.
a man does, like a 40-year-old man does.
Yeah.
Listen, Mortals of Avium was always one I was like going to have to wait for the word of mouth. I was going to have someone be like, I played it, and yes, it's incredible. Because otherwise, just looking at it, yeah, I was hard to care. So, yeah. I got to show something real quick, though. This comes from the Super Mario Broth blog on Twitter. They said, in Super Mario RPG, Valentina's Japanese name is Margarita, referring to a cocktail often served with a lime slice. However, in her original artwork, she was holding a drink with a cherry in it. In the remake, her model has been updated to correctly hold a margarita. That's where we're at. That's the attention to detail we're getting. Let's fucking go.
There we go. That's what I want to hear. Oh my God, we are wasting away again. And Margarita, he said that there might be a woman to blame.
Yeah, and here she is, everybody.
We found her.
We finally found her.
Found her. Let's go.
I gotta imagine like the youth looking at these character designs and be like, why are these old men so excited about this weirdly buxom creature with a bird on her head for hair? Listen, this was sexy to us in the 90s, all right? This is what we had.
No, to be clear, no, it wasn't. We did not think it was sexy then.
It was very moving. It was stirring in the loins. I'm sorry. I'd like to apologize.
Did you just say stirring in the loins?
Yeah, that's what I said. It's poetry,
I'm the
Mike.
weird one. I'm the weird one.
Some more of my poetry.
God.
Okay, listen, I think we could probably start wrapping this show up. I had a
you
poll.
Want to do it? Don't forget the Final Fantasy 16 review roundup.
Oh yeah, let's do the Final Fantasy 16 review roundup. Thank you very much, Mike. I got that over
That's what
here.
I'm here for.
Could you start off by telling us what the Metacritic was overall? It was
yeah, let's see. I'll check again, but when I checked before, this is only on PlayStation 5. Yep, there it is. Based off of 97 critic reviews, it is at an 88. Landing pretty much where I expected. Very good score. Doesn't quite get to like that 90, which maybe matters to some people, but an 88, come on.
Yes, yeah, 88 for a game from Square Enix after they really have had a lot of fumbles. I think that's very impressive.
I mean, the Final Fantasy 7 remake that everybody loves is an 87.
Yep,
right?
Exactly. So 57 positive reviews, 6 mixed in terms of the score reviews. Lots of 10s. Screen Rant says, by no means perfect. It's as beguilingly flawed as its characters and world, and equally delightful as a result, with an incredible score, an enthralling story, and an eccentric and electric gameplay approach. Final Fantasy 16 is quite simply a modern masterpiece. Let's see. Shaq News says Final Fantasy 16 is a massive game that in many ways feels like a response to years of rocky terrain. This is one of the most beloved series in gaming, but one that has had big ups and downs, especially in recent memory. And then Digital Trends gave it a 60 out of 100. Maybe it could have been a 6 out of 10, but this is how Metacritic interprets it. 60 out of 100. Final Fantasy 16 delivers on the action side of its action RPG formula. A fierce and fast-paced combat system makes for the series' most exciting stab at real-time swordplay yet, while its blockbuster icon fights rank among some of gaming's most awe-inspiring battles. But there's a general flatness surrounding those exhilarating highs as shallow RPG hooks and data design leave a promising evolution for the series stuck in the past. It's hard for me to still get a gauge on how people are, because it's okay, yeah, it's shallow RPG hooks, but it's stuck in the past still. Is it data design? Does it still feel like older Final Fantasies in some other ways? I mean, I don't know.
The game has QTEs. That might be a reference to that.
Yeah, I think the QTEs are pretty fun though. So I've been playing this game.
Cool.
I've been enjoying it quite a bit. I think
you have actually played a Final Fantasy more than I have.
Yes,
I have
that's
not really
right.
been able to start it.
I have been playing it more than you have. I'm super into it. I'll say that everything that everyone said, including your previews, were spot on. It feels a ton like God of War. The combat feels a lot like Devil May Cry and God of War. And so yeah, all these things are very familiar. It is a game where they put a lot of money into the places where Final Fantasy puts money. The cinematics are very well done. Whenever things get emotional, what's that?
Music's probably really
the music is incredible. It's very good every time Sure, every time the Final Fantasy sort of keys start happening, like that pops for sure. But then it's like, no, we're just going to do this awesome fight with this ice lady, and we're going to have like this really adventurous music happen, even though like you guys are having like this really sort of hard conversation while you're doing this fight. And it's like this mashup is like really working for me. It feels very anime still, but also feels like a filter through Game of Thrones, and all that stuff mostly works for me. I've been enjoying it quite a bit. I don't think the combat's going to hold up over the entire game though, because it's if this is like as long as other RPGs where it's like 30-40 hours, I think like the combat system's going to get a little bit rote after a while. But who knows? I'll probably keep unlocking stuff, and maybe I'll be completely wrong about that. But so far, yeah, I've been pretty impressed after about 4 or 5 hours into the game. Really enjoying a lot of it. Are you going to hop into this next now that you beat Tears of the Kingdom?
Yeah, though, like since like I wasn't able to start it early, I am kind of at a I'll wait for that day one patch at this point, which I assume this game does actually come out tomorrow, right?
So Friday, right?
Friday, Friday, is that right?
I don't know.
Probably already got it for us.
Chat's going to help us out here in a second.
Yeah, I believe in you, chat.
Tomorrow. Okay. Yeah, fantastic. So yeah, that day one patch, which we talked about on the Bombcast yesterday, 300 megabytes to fix some bugs and to fix performance. I played a lot of it on graphics mode, and then I played last night on performance mode. I did not notice much downgrade in terms of graphics. I play from about 6 feet away on this big TV back here. And and then it looked really smooth to me. It maybe it wasn't perfect 60, but it was very smooth, especially coming from Jedi Survivor, which has a lot of problems getting anywhere near 60. This is not that. This is much better than that. So if people want to play on frame rate mode, I think you're going to be just fine. But hey, that patch is also coming.
I still have Jedi Survivor on the back burner because I'm like, there's other things to play, and I'll just wait till that gets like really, really patched.
Right.
Which I don't think has happened yet. Like, I know another new patch happened, but I don't think they've, like, suddenly got it going.
No, I don't think so.
The gimmicks are fighting. The gimmicks are fighting. Yeah. There you go. I tattled on them.
All right.
Yeah. No pushing and shoving over toys gimmicks. Come on. Uncle Mikey's here.
Yeah, you got to come here and lay down the law, Mike.
There you go. I'll tell them what's up.
Now
they're mad at you.
Yep. Oh, yeah, of course they are. They always are. All right. I'm going to get this poll up from Monday. In the meantime, though, or actually probably from last Friday. In the meantime, Mike, why don't you tell people where they could find you on the internet?
Find me at gamesbeat.com. We've all been working very hard the last few weeks. My staff's been writing a lot of great stories. Very proud of them. So, thank you to everyone there, and thank you anyone who checks us out at GamesBeat. I'm also on Twitch and Twitter at Co. So finally passed that big 10K follower mark yesterday. So I'm feeling like a big boy today. We did it.
I don't know if I asked a poll. Did I do a poll? Did we post this, Jan? Maybe I never posted the poll from Friday. So you know what? We'll just do a new one, which is gonna be how do you rate the Nintendo Direct? You forgot to post the poll. Thank you, Slane McAwesome. We'll get that going right now. We'll get the new one up. So we'll do a new poll. How would you rate the Nintendo Direct? We'll do a letter grade A, B, C, D, F. I think if we could do that many options, we'll do it that way. Mike, what would you give it? Let's
give it an A.
Yeah, I would give it an A as well. It's exactly what I want.
Never mind. I'm not going to be crude. Let's say an A for Daisy's something that starts with an A, but I won't say it.
Oh, we appreciate that, Mike. Thank you so much.
Listen, got restraint.
You got restraint, not when it comes to the Poop City Slamma Jamma in the Mario Kart bathroom.
People need to know.
Yeah,
come on. You think it's gonna be a bathroom level at Mario Kart? I'm not gonna make a Poop City Slamma Jamma joke.
All right, we'll get that poll posted. Again, what was your letter grade for the Nintendo Direct? And we'll talk about that on the show tomorrow when me and Jana Choa will be back here with you talking about the latest video game news. Also on Giant Bomb, later today, we are going to do a Steam Next Fest demo roundup. We're going to play a bunch of stuff, so look out for that. There's other things happening. We'll have a UPF on Friday. We'll probably be playing Crash Team Rumble, things like that. So there's plans. Stuff will be happening on giantbomb.com. Come hang out with us. But in the meantime, Mike, thank you so much for hanging out with me and talking about video games. I really appreciate it.
Fun stuff. Let's go.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. You're the best audience in gaming. Until next time, have a good one. Take care of yourself, and goodbye.